Hey everyone, so this is Matthew here, and in the past I've shown how granite is slightly radioactive, and that's how I tested my count rate meter. It was really hard to distinguish that the granite was actually radioactive. Now, as we can see here, my background is really low. I'm on the zero point 0.1 scale, so all these values are actually only a tenth of what this gauge is showing. So it's fluctuating somewhere between 0 and 40 counts per minute, roughly. Sometimes I'll get a couple bursts of radiation real fast from background and it will spike up a little bit higher, but for the most part, it's really low. Now, I've got an interesting thing here, and that is uranium glass. This will actually glow green under a black light. I don't have one to show that off at the moment. And it is a beta emitter. And so a beta is just an electron, and it doesn't travel very far. So right now, I'm actually getting basically no dose from standing here and holding my phone close to it. To show this, we'll actually see how close we have to get before we start getting radiation dose. And we'll also test a couple different methods of shielding to see how much shielding it takes before we can't see the dose anymore to the probe. So I'm going to try to get both of these in view. And so just point this at it, and you can see I'm still basically reading nothing, and my probe is only 3-4 inches away from it. Now have that distance, and I'm starting to get some counts. Let's see if we get all the way up to it, how hot it gets though. Okay, getting pretty hot. Let's see if I set it on top where I have the most amount of the glass touching it. Well, I got off the scale there, so I actually need to go up a level. So now the values actually read the proper value on the gauge. And you can see I'm getting somewhere between 600 and 1,000 counts per minute. Probably more like 800 counts per minute. So this thing is well above background, way hotter than natural granite tabletop would be. You definitely don't want to eat or drink out of this, but all the uranium is encapsulated in the glass. So as long as I don't scratch or break or crack the glass in any way, I'm not in a contamination risk from this. But you definitely don't want any of this inside you, just because you can see the range that it would be giving your body dose from. You know, everything that's this close to whatever ended up in your body and closer would end up getting radiation dose. So let's try some paper. So I'm just going to set my probe underneath the paper and then set it on my meter. Well, looks like I'm still maxing out my meter on the 0.1 scale, so paper doesn't do much. Let's try instead putting this plastic coaster on there. It's not very thick, just maybe like 1/8 of an inch thick. And then set this on top, and remember, this is the 0.1 scale that we're on, and so we're maybe getting 200 to 150, 300 counts somewhere. You know, it's not really going any higher, and so this is basically blocking out all of the betas. You know, we're down to 1/3 of the dose just from that small thin piece of plastic. So betas, it really does not take very much to stop the dose from them, and they don't even travel that far in air, as was shown by how close we had to get before my detector could detect that they're there. So as long as this is treated with the proper care and respect it deserves, it is not that dangerous. And the dose I'm getting from just holding this for a very short period of time is really not that high. So I wouldn't sleep with it or anything, obviously, but it's kind of cool. You might even have this if you got something from your grandparents passed down to you, and you wouldn't even know it unless you shine a black light on it. So that's pretty cool.